And you have just mentioned on the communication to the investors. But actually, well, as long as I know, Japanese investors are so far not so much concerned about the risk of scarcity of water or any natural resources. So, but how about the situation in UK or other European countries?
Mm-hmm. I think investors tend to lag a little bit behind what companies are doing. So, first of all, I think personally, it's the job of a company's leadership to explain to investors why they are better and why they are going to generate more returns. So the communication, first of all, has to happen from the company to the investor, for the investor to understand. The problem with sustainability, and part of the reason why investors don't understand it very well, is that if you communicate to an investor and you say, I have reduced my carbon emissions by 20%, and I use less water, and I have reduced my waste, they don't understand that. But if you said to an investor, I've reduced my exposure to risk by 100 billion yen, they understand that. So natural capital accounting gives a common language to talk to investors. And I think that companies therefore have an opportunity to help investors understand more. So in the UK, that is starting to happen. We're starting to see that a better way of communicating with investors leads to better rewards for companies.
I see.
If you have a look at green bonds, that is a growth market, and we see that basically that is starting to happen there too. So in Japan, maybe investors so far have not been so focused on ESG, but I do think that companies have an opportunity to communicate better on how they are managing sustainability to investors using these natural capital accounting tools.
I see. So it's not only your common language to your business manager, but to the external investors as well.
Yeah. I mean, if you can say that you have a Vision 2020, this is your sustainability strategy, you are doing a list of different things. These will help the planet. Imagine if you could quantify that in yen terms. You could say how many billion yen this is actually going to save. And you could tell your management that, the management could tell your investors that, and your investors will start to ask questions, which is actually what you want them to do, because then they will become more curious and more interested in your company. And ultimately what we have seen happening is that companies become more efficient because they understand resources better, and then they can communicate that better to investors, that they have a better risk management framework because they're communicating in the same language. The investors will provide rewards back to the company. So when we worked with Puma, we found that Puma were able to communicate to investors the environmental profit and loss statement, and overall for the parent group of Puma, which is Kering Group, the amount of investors that they have that have a specialist interest in this area, SRI type investors, have increased to now about 25% overall. And why is that important? That's important because these investors hold on to your company's stock for longer, which reduces the volatility in your stock, which means that actually over time your share price increases. So you're getting longer term investors with a longer term view who understand your business better, but you have to communicate to them first in a language that they understand.
I see. So natural capital accounting is a very powerful tool to communicate and make the tangible both your risks and opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, and lastly, so would you give some messages or advices to the Japanese business people?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that Japanese businesses have been focused on efficiency and efficiency gains for so many decades. I see natural capital accounting as a way of truly recognizing the efficiency gains as far as environmental issues are concerned. So actually, I wouldn't be surprised if when Japanese companies do natural capital accounting, they find that they are much better than their competition. That they are able to communicate that in the language of finance will generate big success. So I think there's a great opportunity for Japanese businesses to use these tools to gain competitive advantage and to reduce risk.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.